Oh, stop
it's
with the feed,
still
please.
early. I said that after game 1 with Phoenix. It's still early. I said after game 2 with Phoenix. It's still early. So, like, you act like, and I know you're not really comfortable with your age, but you're old enough to know better. I mean, you in your 40s. You're well into your 40s. Well into your 40s. All right. So you should know that this is not old school NBA best of 3 series, which they used to have. Not a best of 5. It's a best of 7. So like anybody patting themselves on the back after 2 games in the series has really no grasp of NBA reality. So I didn't do that after game 1. I'm not doing it now. I'm not panicking. I'm not celebrating. I'm just I'm
okay.
watching.
Well, you know what? Then you're watching. Oh, okay. So you know, Michael, you
I'm
might
just
as
watching.
well. You must have.
I'm enjoying.
Okay, maybe you were listening and consuming too much Clipper propaganda last night because you sound like you're straight out of the locker room. Because I hear somebody that's in denial right now. Okay, because
Denial of what?
just to speak broadly,
What's the denial?
And we can get into specifics. Okay, that how wrong you were, and if you're going to fall back on, oh, you know, it's early. Okay, that's lame. Okay, it's too early in the show.
It's correct
to be that lame. Because okay, but wait,
It's correct.
just let me tell you what you're wrong about. Because maybe the disconnect
It's lame?
is you don't
It's correct.
recognize what you're wrong about. Number one,
What? What am I
You
wrong
have
about?
been
What's it?
unimpressed.
First of all, let
I'll
me
tell
interrupt.
you.
Let me just
I'll
can
tell
I
you.
interrupt you for a second? Can I just interrupt you?
Sure.
Tell me what
Sure.
series, because there's a conversation for each series. So tell me what series you're talking about, and then I'll tell you how specifically how I feel. What series? Who are we talking about? The Clippers?
I'll tell you quickly why you were wrong about all 3. Okay? And then you can pick which series you want to dive deeper in. Okay? Again, this is
Okay,
your show
all right.
today. This is your show. You're the one with some explaining to do, not
Thank
me.
you.
Not me. You're the
Thank
one
you.
that's got some explaining to do. Okay.
I appreciate it.
Chronological order,
I appreciate
shall we?
it. Thank you. Yeah, let's do it.
I told you yesterday, Brooklyn could score 200 points and you wouldn't be impressed. You have found a
Right.
way, you've been
Did they
really
score 200?
creative to hate on the
Scored
Nets
200
all
yesterday?
season long. So
They scored 200?
yesterday, nobody with any sense of
scored 130.
objectivity
Okay.
or fairness would say that the Nets were not impressive in victory last night. Okay?
That's lame.
So you can
Okay,
eat
go
it
ahead.
on that
Go
one.
ahead.
You can eat it on that one. The Nets looked great last night.
I'm going to start with that
Deal
one.
with
Go
it.
ahead. Keep going.
Hold on. Okay. Number 2, chronologically.
I'll get there.
You can sit up here and say, oh, it's still early, Michael.
Let me write it down.
But before the series started, you planted your flag in Phoenix and said, the Lakers are going
They're gonna
down.
win the series.
You said it loud.
They're going to win the series.
You said it proud.
The
that
series
the
is 1-1,
Suns
Mike.
We're going to win it.
That's how they
No.
sweep them?
No.
That's how they
No,
gonna
it's
sweep
not
them?
what you said. It's how you said it. It's not what you said.
Yeah.
It's how you said it. You said
Hey,
it with
if you
conviction,
go to the-
as if the Suns were going to run away with this thing, as if the Lakers were not who we thought they were, and that the Suns.
No.
Okay. And I'll just give you the third one. Let me give
If
you the
you
third
gonna
one.
go to the
You can
hole-
retort. You can retort.
If you're
Let
going
me
to
give
go
you
to
the
the
third
hole,
one. Hold on,
don't
let me give you
flip
the third
up
one.
no little, don't flip
Let me
up a
give you the third
layup.
one, and
Bring
then you can
it.
retort. Let me give you
right.
the third one, and then you can retort. The third one was, for some strange reason, and I tried to tell you to come with me. I tried to bring you with me. I said, Michael, let's go. The ship be sinking. Let's jump ship. Because both of us were drinking that Clippers-flavored Kool-Aid, okay? Both of us sat in a lonely barber's chair, okay, against all logic when it came to the Clippers. Both of us were like, you know what? The Clippers are different this year. No more Clipper jokes. Oh, wait, maybe they might actually, come through this season. And I said, Michael, they gonna clip. The Clippers can't cut it. Whether you believe Ty Lue or not, whether it's true or not, when all signs pointed to the Clippers trying to manipulate the bracket, you and I had a knockdown, drag-out argument about really what amounts to karma. And that the Clippers, of all teams, shouldn't be trying to pick opponents. They should be worried about themselves and handling their own business. And here they are, down 0-2 after 2 home games to legend in the making, Luka Doncic. They're done. It ain't officially over, but they're done. But okay, you're right. It's not officially over. So I've said my piece. Those are the three ways in which you have been galactically wrong about these series so far.
Okay.
You hate on Brooklyn, and they handling their business. They look incredible.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
you sat up there and you had Phoenix
incredible.
acting like, everybody was sleeping on the second-seeded Suns, and the Lakers were just, about to go quietly into this good night. Yeah, that series has flipped for a number of reasons. And last but not least, for some strange reason, you want to be on the Clippers bandwagon that's headed, shout out to Mike Tyson, headed to Bolivian. So I've said enough.
Yeah.
All right. I know everybody that watches and listens to us knows who had the good night last night. You struggling right about now with your playoff predictions. But go ahead. Go ahead and tell me why I'm wrong about you being wrong. I'll let you go now.
Well, I'll tell you what you're good at first before I tell you what you're so just off on. I'll tell you what you're really good at. You're really good at telling stories. Some kids are like that.
This should be good.
They tell really good stories. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, what? That's creative, but it ain't happen like that. But that's really creative. So your stuff I said about the Lakers gonna go quietly. The Lakers are chumps. I never said that. I said the Suns are gonna win the series. And as far as I can tell, maybe I have different information. I think the series is. I'm just looking right here on the sheet. I think it's 1-1. Is it 1-1? Right? Still 1-1. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't keep up. Yes. I don't keep up with everything like I should. Let me just start here.
Right. I know you don't like numbers and whatnot,
can I start with Brooklyn?
It is 1-1. You're comfortable with.
Can I start with Brooklyn and Boston?
Sure.
All right.
Yes.
You said because I remember what you say. I listened to you on this show. So you said talking about Washington. Washington. I brought up the record. It was like 34-38 or something like that. You said, Washington, I'm not looking at 34-38. I'm looking at them as a 17-16, like the way they close. Mm-hmm. So they're 17-6, not really the 34-38. I think that's a fair way of looking at it because they kind of transformed themselves. Conversely, Boston is a 500 team, but down the stretch, let me tell you who Boston lost to. Boston lost to the Bulls. Boston lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who've been trying to lose for like 2 months. They actually lost to the Thunder at the crib. Boston lost to Cleveland twice. Boston is a bad basketball team. Boston lost Jaylen Brown for the season. Boston has about 5 dudes on the roster who you go see when you go back to New Orleans and you go back to that Y you used to play at, you go see them at the Y. They don't belong in the NBA. They've got a bad roster. They're a bad basketball team. On top of that, their heart, empty. Robert Williams, the guy who blocks everybody's shot, this is what he does. He's got a nice little move. I've never seen this before in the NBA playoffs. He'll block your shot. You're on the opposing team. Then a brother will help you up. Hey, dude, it's the playoffs. Leave him on the floor. This ain't the Good Samaritan tale. Walk away. Okay, Boston's a bad basketball team. So if you're going to get excited that Brooklyn is running the bad Celtics, the worst team in the playoffs, by the way. I don't exaggerate. They're the worst team in the playoffs. They're worse than Washington, even though they beat them. They're worse than They're worse than Memphis. Any kind of low-seeded team you want to bring out, Boston is the worst team in the playoffs. So, next. And I can't stand Brooklyn. I'll continue to hate on them.
Can we stay there for a second? Wait, were you about to go to another series, or can we stay here for a second? Can we stay
I'm going to go to the next series.
You mind?
Yeah.
Michael, this is a little get back. I'm not gonna go as far as you did, but this is a little get back. I'm about to hit you. Just brace yourself for this, all right? When it comes to the Brooklyn Nets, you talk like a Republican. And here's what I mean by that, okay? Here's what I mean by that. You are so hypocritical. You
the election was stolen
to suit your
narrative. The election was stolen
when it comes to the Brooklyn Nets. Okay, it's just like I don't even know why. I should
ask me who my president is. Ask me who my president is.
That you could not speak objectively and fairly about. I mean, like it's just it never ceases to amaze me how you bend over backwards. You're a contortionist. You're a contortionist when it comes to hating on the Brooklyn Nets. It started in the preseason. It continued all season. Michael, I hear what you're saying about Boston. I hear and all facts. But did it ever occur to you, number one, that it ain't Brooklyn's fault that Boston is in the condition that it's in?
Right.
That Brooklyn's doing
I don't
its
hold it
job.
against them.
It can still be impressive.
Do
Is
the
Boston
job.
in the playoffs?
Just show
Are they in
up.
the playoffs? Okay. If you
Show
didn't
up,
want this
win by
smoke from
20.
Brooklyn, you shouldn't have beat
I
Washington.
hate on you.
All right.
Hey,
so
go ahead.
that's
Handle
number
your
one.
business.
Number two, could the
That's right.
Celtics,
We
could
agree.
the Nets be so good? Could the Nets be so good that they're making the Celtics look that bad? Because
No, the
how
Celtics
can you
are bad.
not
No,
be
the Celtics are
impressed?
bad. I told you who they lost to.
Both things
Didn't I
can be
already
true.
tell you who they lost to?
Both things can be true. Both
Okay,
you
okay,
did,
all
but
right.
both things can be true.
We agree there. I'll give you that.
I'm sorry, but
I'll give you
both
that.
things can be
Sure.
true.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell you that the
That-
Nets make a lot of people look like this. They're capable of making a lot of people look
Okay.
like this. And when they're big three plus Joe Harris plus whatever has inhabited the body of Blake Griffin, when they're playing like that, everybody's gonna look bad. And I just wish you had the maturity, Michael, to step
Yeah.
back,
Yeah.
release your whatever pettiness you have against Brooklyn,
That stinks.
and just look at it for what it
That
is.
hurts
That
a
they're a
little.
damn impressive team that that's still
Go ahead.
figuring it out.
I'm gonna take
and
it.
they're
I'm gonna stand
sharing
here
the
and take
ball. All the things that you and everybody else suggested. You have been waiting for this team to implode. And since they're not imploding, and since they're rounding into form, and since they are impressive, now you got to do the predictable thing, which is attack their credibility. Now you got to attack the opponents. Okay? Now you got to say, well, it's the Celtics. And then when they go against Milwaukee next round, presumably, and when they beat Milwaukee,
won't beat
Budenholzer, he doesn't adjust, and Milwaukee, I mean, we knew they were frauds.
No, I'm not doing that.
You know, look, I know everything he's about to say against me, okay? Says B Rabbit, okay? Like, you ain't an MC. I know everything you about to say. I know where you're going to go when the playoffs as they go. I know what you're going to say every step of the way, Michael. So I'm not surprised. But keep going.
All right, well, let me just say
Take it where
this.
you want to go. Yeah, you
this
say
is what I
this
wanna
and then
say.
take it where you want to go.
No, you brought up some good points, and we don't disagree as much as you think. There's some agreement. Some of the things you said there, right? Both things can be true. Celtics can be bad, and the Nets can be so good that they make a bad team look even worse. That is absolutely true. I just want to say before I go on to the next series, though, there are millions and millions and millions of votes that were not counted. Okay, millions of votes that weren't counted. And why can't there be another recount in Georgia? There should be another recount. Give me do we have enough recounts in Georgia? Huh? I'm just asking. Anyway, I only play a Republican
Next
on
series.
TV. No, don't get it twisted now. Don't get it twisted. So in Denver, in Phoenix, Lakers, like Mike, you have just totally exaggerated this one. Now I gotta tell you, honestly, you told me to be fair and to be real. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm a little worried here. I'm not worried because they lost last night. I'm worried because of Chris Paul.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, part of the reason I picked Phoenix to win the series, I mean, Chris Paul was a big part of that. Not the reason. I thought they matched up well. I thought they had.
When you made
Chris
your
Paul
point,
and Devin
when you
Booker.
made your point about experience, is not going to cost the Suns. I mean, you were specifically talking
Right.
about the presence of Chris Paul, obviously.
No, I'm just talking about the presence. But see, this is my fault. And I won't make excuses here. If they lose because Chris Paul didn't play, no. If they lose the series, I'm gonna have to take that. My problem is not just looking at the matchup, and I think they have a significant matchup in the backcourt, even though Schroeder went off last night. Significant matchup in the backcourt with Chris Paul and Devin Booker. I mean, I think that's just better than what the Lakers can bring to the table. My problem is I got to look at history. You got it right there in your feed. If it wasn't for bad luck, okay, is it bad luck though? Is it bad luck with Chris Paul, or is it possible to play like that? Everybody calls him a warrior, and they talk about his toughness. Yeah, well, there are 6'8" warriors, and there are 6 feet warriors. So if you're 6'8", 250 pounds, 260 pounds, you could be a warrior, and you could hand out some punishment and take it and still keep going. When you're 6 feet tall, like Chris Paul, hey, you're going to be a warrior. You go in there and initiate some contact, or you take some contact, you're probably going to get banged up. And throughout his career, it's not bad luck. Maybe he's just not built for the same things that LeBron James is built for. Not a knock on him. You can't help it. Can't help how tall you are.
Okay.
Hey, man, I'm 5'8".
Okay.
Hey, look, this is the way it is. Okay, I'm going to be at a disadvantage in certain situations. So it's too bad if they don't have Chris Paul. Yeah, I'm really nervous. Or if they have a limited Chris Paul, I'm really nervous about them pulling out the series. And then finally, but it's still
I'll make this quick. I'll come back. I'll come back to Chris Paul. I'll come back to Chris Paul later. I'll come back to Chris Paul later on in the interest of time. But I'll just say this before you move on to the Clippers. One quick retort. All right. You know good and damn well, if the Suns had won last night and it was 2-0, you wouldn't be talking about it's still early. You wouldn't be talking about all the Suns did was hold serve and win at home. So it's just real convenient that after Anthony Davis got his act together and LeBron was LeBron and the Lakers put their foot down last night, it's just real convenient that it's still early. You're right. Technically, factually, you're right. It's 1-1. Series is just starting, as they say. But don't think I don't know what would have happened today.
I object.
If the Suns,
that's conjecture.
Oh my God! If the Suns,
I don't know.
Okay, all right.
I don't know what I would say.
Okay.
So let me call my first cousin. Let me call my first cousin Josh Holley. Let me call him on speed dial. My first cousin. Yeah.
So what you got to say about your Clippers?
Here's the other thing. All right, here's the other thing. They're screwed.
Okay, good. Now we're getting somewhere.
Oh man! Oh my God! What are they doing? What are they doing? Oh my God!
Oh man!
They in trouble.
I feel like
man.
I just got you to admit that you ordered the code red. I feel like I just got you to admit that you ordered the code red.
Man,
thank you.
I'll take the L there.
That's what I was hoping for.
It ain't so early.
Yes.
L. I'm gonna wear that one. Come on.
Okay.
What are you doing,
Michael? If how's that working out for you was a team, it would be the Clippers. Okay. Like whether it's firing Doc Rivers, whether it's tanking the end of your season to manipulate your position in the bracket, how's that working out for y'all right about now?
Your analogy is so good. We talk about, despite evidence to the contrary, despite all the evidence saying don't go there, we go into the shop, it's packed. Brothers are on their phones. Brothers are playing, we got a dice game going. Everybody's occupying themselves. There's that lonely barber's chair, and here I come, back in my hair days.
Yep.
And I go in and be like, yo, man. You go, oh yeah, sit down, bro. What?
Right.
Why did I do that? This dude done messed up my line. My line is jacked up.
Yeah.
Like, Mike, and here's
not your
what
fault.
my real problem is with this.
Now you're in position because you wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt. Now you're in position to have to defend the Clippers, and that's not fair to you.
I can't defend them.
It's not your fault, Michael.
I can't defend them. I screwed up. I screwed up. I want a mulligan. I want that back. Hey, Gary, do we have that sound of Paul George post-game? If we have a Paul George post-game sound, just drop it in anytime. If we don't have it, we'll get to it later. But Paul George post-game. All right, here we go. Check this out. I want you to listen to something. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is the problem. Listen to Paul George after the game. Listen.
There is none. There is a competition. We got to rise to the occasion. Fact of the matter is, if we don't, we're done for. But it's no level of concern. I mean, we just got to play our game. We got to play through this. We got to incorporate our defense. Luka's gonna get his touches. We just got to do a better job defensively of just quieting everyone else.
What'd you say? That lets me further know that they're screwed. Look, they've got two extremely talented defenders who happen to be about 6'8". Like Luka's about, what, 6'8", right? So you got like two talented defenders, all league defenders. And talking about Luka's going to get his touches. No. I'm a max player. I'm here so Luka doesn't get his touches. Kawhi's here so Luka doesn't get his touches. We're down zip 2. We had home court advantage, and we lost 2 games at home. This is unacceptable. That's what he should have been saying. Instead, he's just so casual. Oh, I'm not concerned. You be concerned, man. Be concerned. How about this? Let's look at it this way. In your last 5 playoff games, you're 0-5. Why are you casual? In your last 5, you're 0-5. Come on. Like the mix is not right. It's like let's get Melly Mel on this. It's in the mix. The mix is messed up. I don't know. I think this team, all the jokes are justified. I don't know who's going to help them. I don't know if changing coach is going to help them. I don't know if the support staff is going to, if changing the complementary players. It might be something. It might be in the dirt. It seriously might be in the dirt of the organizational charter. They just gonna have to start over. Like move to Santa Barbara or something. I mean, like they messed up, man. It's just messed up historically.
Yeah. Hey,
just bad.